Welcome back to High Stakes. Elevate your game by subscribing to our channel so you never miss our daily content. For exclusive access to our premium betting picks, join our Patreon. Find the link in the comments section below. Stay ahead with High Stakes. Minnesota Vikings versus Philadelphia Eagles. Minnesota and Philadelphia are both undefeated in preseason play, but this is a spot I like the Vikings to get the win. The Eagles' quarterback play between McKee and Pickett has struggled, while Minnesota's tandem of Mullins and Hall has played well, which is why this is a good spot for the Vikings to have success here. Minnesota's offense is clicking, and that should continue here in the final preseason game, as I'll back the better quarterback play and for Minnesota to go 3-0 in preseason play. Take Vikings moneyline. Although Philadelphia has struggled on offense in the preseason, Minnesota will force this game to be more offensive, which is why I like the over 33.5 points here. The Vikings offense should be able to get to 20 to 24 points on their own, while Philadelphia should be able to score at least 14 to help the over cash, as the Eagles have scored above 14 in both preseason games. Take the over 33.5 points. Los Angeles Chargers versus Dallas Cowboys. Preseason games can be a tricky pick as there are lots of unknowns, especially surrounding playing time. Neither Justin Herbert, who is recovering from a foot injury, expected to be ready for Week 1, or Dak Prescott are expected to play in this one. Dak has not played a preseason game since 2019, but I am taking the Cowboys at -3.5 in this one. The Cowboys love to play at home, having gone a perfect 8-0 last season in Jerry World, and that raucous home field advantage the Cowboys always enjoy should carry over at least a little bit to the preseason as well. Additionally, even with limited action from key players on both teams, the Cowboys bring much more continuity over from last season than the Chargers. With their head coach still in place and less overall roster turnover, the Cowboys players and coaching staff should be on the same page and more familiar with the system than the Chargers will be. Trey Lance is also one of the better backup quarterbacks in the league, and he should be featured heavily on Saturday, giving the Cowboys the edge at the QB position. Take Cowboys -3.5 points. Saturday's preseason finale between two California training camp teams, with the Chargers holding camp on the coast in El Segundo and the Cowboys training an hour further north in Oxnard, should be able to hit the over of 33.5 points. While preseason games are generally low scoring, the over should have a really good chance to hit in this one. Firstly, as mentioned earlier, Trey Lance is one of the best backup QBs in the NFL and will be featured heavily on Saturday. Lance has a lot to play for here, as it will likely be his last significant game action for a while, and he is hoping to make a good impression with the hopes of getting another shot to be a starter in the league. Similarly, Saturday is the final preseason game and the last chance for everybody on the roster bubble to make a good impression and try to make their respective teams. Guys will be playing hard, and at least a few touchdowns should be expected. Take over 33.5 points. New York Giants versus New York Jets. Aaron Rodgers has already stated he won't play at all this game, along with most of the starters. This gives the Giants the chance to win this game based on rookies like Malik Neighbors looking to shine, along with several others competing for roster spots. The Jets have most of their lineup solidified already, and the Jets will be prioritizing health above everything else, especially considering what happened to them last season. Questions have been surrounding Daniel Jones about whether the Giants should have continued to move forward with him this season, and I'll bet he will want to answer those questions with the limited time he has in this game. Give me the team with more to prove, the Giants, to take the win. Bold of me to take the under with such a low point total, I know, but hear me out. The Giants have averaged 12 points per game in their first two preseason games, while the Jets have averaged only 17.5 points per game. It's not like the Jets have played stiff competition either, as they faced the Panthers and Commanders in their first two games. The Giants still have everything and anything to figure out on offense, and they will be facing a stacked defense at least in the opening quarter or so. Neither team wants to risk many injuries, especially to their quarterbacks, so I expect a lot of time to be taken off the clock as each team runs the ball consistently. Take under 31.5 points. Cleveland Browns versus Seattle Seahawks. The Cleveland Browns were able to make the playoffs last season despite having 5 different quarterbacks get time on the field. The team is hoping to get a fully healthy Deshaun Watson, but there is a competition for the backup spot. Quarterback Dorian Thompson-Robinson has been the team's best passer as through 2 preseason games, he is 27 of 35 for 260 yards and an interception. He is going to be competing with former Pro Bowlers Jameis Winston and Tyler Huntley for the backup spot and should have the advantage in what we have seen in the 2 games so far this preseason. Defensively, this Browns team has a lot to be excited about for the upcoming season. However, there has not been that effort showing throughout the preseason as they have allowed 50 total points so far. Cleveland has struggled to kill drives as the opposition has gone 14 for 27 on third down attempts against them in the first 2 games of the preseason. The Seattle Seahawks are 1-1 in the Mike Macdonald era in preseason. The team is trying to figure out their identity, but it is clear that in their 2 games, they are going to be focused in on the defensive side of the football. The offense this preseason has been struggling, but backup quarterback Sam Howell has been doing well as he has gone 27 for 41 with 283 yards with a pair of touchdowns. Running back Kenny McIntosh has also added to the running back room as he has 16 rushing attempts for 86 yards thus far. The defense has been playing well as they have only given up 19 total points. The defense has been absolutely killing it on third downs as they are holding the opposition to just 7 for 28 on those downs and 1 for 3 on fourth down during the first 2 preseason games. It will be interesting to see how they look in the final game of the preseason and head into the regular season. The Seattle Seahawks being a home underdog does not make too much sense for this game as they are the better team. When diving into the preseason records for these coaches, Kevin Stefanski is 2-6 since the 2022 preseason, while this is the first preseason for Mike Macdonald with the Seattle Seahawks. There is a reason why the Cleveland Browns have a minus 28-point differential heading into this game, while the Seattle Seahawks are plus 12 so far this preseason. The ability of these quarterbacks, if the starters for both sides do not play much in this game, shows things are similar. There have been discussions that the Browns could be shopping Dorian Thompson-Robinson ahead of this game, while Sam Howell has proven to be a quality backup quarterback. All in all, go with the Seattle Seahawks to cover the spread. My team pick is Seattle Seahawks plus 2 points. The Cleveland Browns are built around their defense, but they are not doing too well in terms of that in the preseason as they have allowed 23 points to the Green Bay Packers and 27 points to the Minnesota Vikings. With Dorian Thompson-Robinson and Sam Howell looking outstanding so far in the 2024 preseason, they should be able to put up some points in this game as well. Even after DTR is pulled in this game, they have either Jameis Winston or Tyler Huntley, who each have made a Pro Bowl in their career already, so the offense should be able to move the chains and get into scoring position to take advantage. Seattle's defense is not going to be able to get dominant stops as they have been, as the Browns have the best offense the Seahawks have seen so far. Cleveland's offense is only scoring 11.0 points per game, and that should increase here as they begin to improve and look better in the second preseason game. Go with over 36.5 points in this game as it seems to be the better bet for this game.